Thank you, Anil. And thanks, Anil, putting us to a pretty impossible position to follow our plans, right? Okay, so I have just a few slides because we're milestone. I have to go through some slides, right? So a few slides to go through just before we jump into the case studies. So I am, thank you to Anil for my introduction. I'm very passionate about applying technologies to build data, platform, and products. So before I begin, so I just want to take a step back and sharing with you that what we've been doing is engineering a lot of engineering resources to build robust processes to get data into our data warehouses, right? So what is the problem we're trying to solve? The first order of problem of this is both internal to external to milestone. We see a lot of folks who want data, they want reports, they want to share with their stakeholders how their campaigns are doing, how their websites are doing. So we went ahead and after building this data platform and actually construct a pretty comprehensive but still evolving data template that can report on a lot of variety of data sources that include web data, that also include a lot of the social metrics, paid media campaign that Richard was talking about early on, local ecosystem including GMB insights and metrics. The list goes on and on and on. So with that, we want to be able to offer a comprehensive template so that we can customize to our different business needs and to different business circumstances. But we don't stop there with just the report. We actually have all the data in our backend. We want to map them in the way that makes sense and conform to the customer journey that you have heard a lot earlier from Kim and Aster, right? So from a data perspective, we've now gone into 4 stages. Let's start with awareness, which pretty much represent the fact that how do your users be aware of your products and services. Walking down the funnel, consideration, engagement, and finally the conversion stage that usually associated with a financial transaction. This is one flowchart that we offer to all our milestone customers when they are on our analytics platform that pretty much summarize what is going on. This is a chart that I usually associate with the fact that you only have 30 seconds with your stakeholders, take it with you. That gives you a really high-level conversation starter of what's going on. So in this particular case, without diving too deeply, what happens is we want to focus on social media. Social media typically do not have a lot of last stage conversion rate conversion, but going back to this chart, it actually helps you feel a lot at the top of the funnel in the awareness stage. What that actually means is that in the omni-channel strategy, it helps you feel the top of the funnel. So when you have a trickle-down effect, you get a lift in the absolute conversion number whenever you get a lift in the conversion rate. So something to keep that we think we have a lot of help in terms of developing the visual and the data capabilities. So we have the data, we have the report, we have the visualization. We are bringing in the next level of innovation to you, to our customer as well. So we are working actively on absorbing and applying some of the machine learning technologies with the 2 very specific goals, right? As you can refer back to this morning Google's our keynote, the impact of artificial intelligence and machine learning is going to be over $1 trillion on sales and marketing globally. So we are applying the machine learning algorithm for 2 specific purposes. One is we realize that a lot of the time has been spent by your analysts, by your customer service manager, for writing these executive summaries on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis. Because why? Not everyone wants to go through the chart as they want to read about what's going on. So we want to use that computer-assisted algorithm to help generate those insights, help generate those storytelling. So that's number 1. Number 2 is we want to expose and help you provide some more foresight of what's going on in your campaigns and your website traffic data in the next month, next quarter, and so forth. So with all that, I want to just transition to the we introduce a great partner and friend, Charles Porter from Digital Services.
Great, thanks Gilbert. Hello everyone, good afternoon. It seems like I'm always presenting last. I'm the data guy, Marriott's. It's up to bump me up, but they call me the closer. So, not technically the closer, kind of the setup man today. But I basically, my role is data governance and reporting, and I support Marriott Digital Services. We are kind of an in-house digital marketing agency supporting all of the Marriott hotels. And when we first kind of set out on this journey of, I guess, a few years back with my boss and Neil, we were trying to figure out and solve problems for reporting. So many of you probably face these problems in your day-to-day jobs. Reports, of course, monthly, quarterly reports never sleep. I just told my boss that actually a few hours ago, right? It's like the mail. But we were trying to solve for a few problems, and we kind of leveraged Milestone to help us try to solve these problems. And I think a lot of you kind of face some of these issues on your day-to-day with reporting as well. Which led to us to launch a new tool at the beginning of this year called the Digital Services Reporting Platform. So just a little bit of background into what we were trying to solve for. The biggest kind of, I guess, issue that we faced on a monthly, quarterly basis was automation, right? Think about building reports and doing it monthly, quarterly. Our team was doing some very rudimentary things when we kind of took a very close look at it, right? Some of you might have been doing those same things, such as screenshots, right? Or combining PDFs, or copying Excel data into something else, right? But it was apparent to us that we discovered that our property-facing team was spending more time on trying to construct reports, and they had less time to interpret and analyze and provide that communication to our properties, right? So that was our biggest kind of number one issue that we were trying to solve for, was trying, how do you automate these reports? Because we realized the more important focus area, more time spent should be on analyzing and interpreting that data, not constructing an actual physical report, right? You finish building that report, you build it, you put screenshots in it, and you're like, oh my gosh, now I have to make sense of all this, right? And then before you send it. So this was really 1A for us. And again, in 2018, we have self-driving cars, right? Why can't we kind of build a faster reporting solution in today's world? So 1A right here. Next, today I think was a really good example of how fast digital marketing and digital everything evolves, right? I was blown away by the WPA information, and I don't get as close to that anymore because I'm more in reporting. Came from a background of digital marketing first, but wow, digital is evolving and it's evolving fast. So we realized in our previous structure of reporting, we needed a better way to be flexible, because there are going to be a lot of things that we need to report out on that are coming very quickly and very fast, as well as adapting and evolving to the digital ecosystem. So that was problem kind of number 2, right? We needed to be flexible. And our previous processes were not very flexible. And in some ways it was kind of stuck, and we do maybe mid-year and year-end reviews to make any changes to our reports that need to be made. And in today's world, that's just not enough, right? It's a fast-paced environment, digital is, so we need to build something and to kind of partner with that kind of mentality. On last, storytelling. So when we kind of started figuring out how to solve for problems 1 and 2, we also realized that, and maybe some of you will realize this when you look at your deliverable, your reports that you deliver, is the reports we had weren't really telling a story. We were just kind of putting charts and visuals in pages, just trying to make it fit, not necessarily trying to put it in a logical story, right? You read a book, it has kind of a beginning, middle, end, right? There was no logical beginning, middle, end to our reports. It was basically some words, executive summary, and then we had some high-level KPIs, but it really wasn't a logical flow of how digital is within hospitality and how we report from the top and kind of slowly work our way down into the kind of traffic sources that drive traffic to Marriott.com. Because in hospitality, right, digital is impacted by a lot of different, moving pieces. So you kind of start at the top and work your way down and get to those traffic sources to really understand what's happening. A lot of different variable factors, right? So The third big problem that we were trying to solve was how do we tell a really cool story for our reports that really resonates with our properties so that they can easily digest this information as well, right? And being in digital and working with hotels, I can also tell you that sometimes we aren't necessarily working with digital marketing folks on the other end, right? Sometimes we're talking to revenue managers. Sometimes we're talking to general managers, whether it be regardless of the relationship we have with the properties that we're working with. So we needed a way to simplify and storytell data through our reports that were delivered, so it was kind of a little more digestible than the kind of non-storytelling format that we were delivering prior to the launch of our tool. So in February 2018, after I would say 3 years maybe, right? 2 years? 2 to 3 years. A lot of security clearances, things like that need to go through. But we launched in February 2018 the Digital Services Reporting Platform. So with that, just some general high-level overview stats is, we had 65 users, we had almost 1,700 properties that we were delivering reports to. So if you think about some of the, agencies that work with individual hotels, and then you start to think about client service manager maybe, and how many hotels they work with, we were able to successfully deliver on time 1,700 monthly reports. And in some of our programs that we offer to our hotels, we didn't have the ability to deliver monthly reporting. It was quarterly because we just didn't have the capacity, the scalability to deliver reporting on a monthly basis. So with the rollout of our tool, we were able to successfully deliver 1,700 property level reports on time within the month, which was very, very amazing with the help of Gilbert and the Milestone team. Another thing we have is our executive summaries, right? We need to make sense and tell the story through words and highlight things to our stakeholders. Nearly half of them had executive summaries written, again, delivered on time, so it was a big win for us. When we started drilling into some more of the data, we did some surveys. We found that through our property-facing services team, right, the folks that work directly with the properties, the level of time it took to produce reports on a monthly basis, or a quarterly basis, right, declined by nearly 50%. In some instances, it was taking our client service team, our property stakeholder team, nearly an hour to complete a report, whether it be taking screenshots, combining PDFs. We cut that time in half, giving that time back to be able to start to focus on what these numbers actually mean and not the manual construction of reports. So really impressive stuff. We've gotten rave reviews from our properties that have been with us, and again, it's given us the ability to scale. And really the important, I guess, item I wanted to bring up was the partnership with Milestone that really helped us achieve this. I think, you think about the different data sources within digital as well, right? We have our reservation data that we need to somehow tie in our visibility data, our paid search data, our social data, our local data, right? So there's so many different data sources, and that's kind of a factor of why it was taking so long to build reports. But with kind of using that Milestone technology, we were able to kind of produce these reports using APIs, REST APIs through some of these products that we work with to easily combine all of this data, tell it in a story, and deliver it much quicker to our properties on a monthly basis.